Those who want to oppress us and those who want to take advantage of us, even those who look like us, know this very fact and are using it to lure you in.
What's good, cousins, and welcome back again on another episode. How are you guys doing today? I really hope you all are doing great. And if you're joining for the very first time, hi, I see you. Thank you so much for tuning in. In today's video, we are going to be checking out a trend that a black woman started. This woman posted a video and she tagged it or started a trend of the conversations that black people are not ready to have. From the title, you guys already know that it is going to be a little controversial because of the title. Literally conversation that black people aren't ready to have. I am going to roll the clip of the video she first posted and the clip that people are stitching to.
Conversations black people aren't ready to have. Number one, Tevin Campbell's I'm Ready is a better song than Tevin Campbell's Can We Talk. Number two, Jazz from Drew Hill was always a better singer than Cisco. Cisco was just more marketable. And number three, my personal favorite, we as a collective owe Terry from Soul Food an apology because she was not the villain for taking care of that ashy entitled ass family. Fight me in the comments if you want to.
That was the clip she posted, and that is the clip that people are stitching. This started like with a little hit, but when I tell you people are coming hard on this particular trend, they are really coming hard. And because of the title, there are some points that you will probably agree with, and there are some points that will literally make you stop and think. So without wasting much time, let me just roll in the clip of the stitches because people were really coming in on this one.
Conversations black people aren't ready to have.
Donald John Trump was about to seal the bag for the black community. Candace Owens is a better influence for young black girls than any female rapper out today. Barack Obama was more pro-LGBT than he was pro-black. Ooh! I do not believe Kamala Harris of Jamaican Indian descent celebrated Kwanzaa. Would love to support more black businesses, but some of y'all really need to get that customer service thing down. Folks only supported Ketanji Brown Jackson because her skin is brown. The single motherhood rate in the black community is alarming. Voting for Democrats by default is dumb. Being hyper pro-black and dating interracially is an oxymoron. Oh. This is a dog-eat-dog world and you need to combat it with your brain and not your color. Abortion is a tenet of white supremacy. Unbelief in God is a tenet of white supremacy. Slavery is over. We can stop eating chitlins. Word. The Central Park Five are not innocent. Shame on black folks who supported O.J. Simpson. Racism and division is a multi-billion-dollar business. Stop being so fucking emotional and wake up. You're being used by a political party to push an agenda you do not stand for.
Conversations black people aren't ready to have.
It's the fact that the only way my people will learn something, get educated by something, or stick or follow a concept that is good for us has to be surrounded around entertainment, partying, clout, and fun. And everyone knows this, everyone. And the fact that our people won't listen to something unless it's entertaining, won't follow it unless it's entertaining, those who want to oppress us and those who want to take advantage of us, even those who look like us, know this very fact and are using it to lure you in. I know this won't go viral. I know I'm going to get in trouble for this, but it is what it is. I'm not even going to go into the fact that if a celebrity is not attached to an idea or something that is going to liberate us, nobody's going to show up. I'm just a man crying out in the wilderness saying to make black smart again, make black intellectual again, make black accountable again, make black great again, make black very, very, very shrewd again. Because sometimes the thing that's going to liberate us isn't going to be surrounded around entertainment. Sometimes it's going to be information. We have to develop a palate. We have to develop a taste for just information, no matter how boring, no matter how deep you got to think about it, because entertainment, I'll just say this, the revolution will not be televised. I'm talking about a financial and economic revolution. Spiritual revolution. We need to get back to God, folks. A family revolution. We need to get our families back. Because while most communities are always building silently together, we're just waiting for the next big lit party where all the celebrities going to be at to teach us about things. Wake up.
Conversations black people aren't ready to have.
We as the black community are the main reason why a lot of black men are DL now. The way that we bully toxic masculinity into men is really ridiculous at this point. And when are we going to accept that a lot of black churches are really homophobic? And when are we going to realize other races are not going to stop saying the N-word if we don't stop saying the N-word? And last but not least, when are we going to talk about black men murdering black trans women because they're scared of being called gay or outed? Literally, it does not make you gay talking to a trans woman. It does not make you gay for liking or feeling attracted to a trans woman. But nobody wants to get into that tea. You're going to be on your deathbed one day, so why care?
Conversations black people aren't ready to have.
I have too many and I don't even know where to begin, but I'm probably just going to give you just 3, just so that I'm not sitting here on this app all day. That young girl is not fast. Her uncles are just perverts. and the rest of her family adultifies her unjustly. Black mothers are just as much as an integral part of a young man's growth as black fathers are. And last but not least, hate to say it, but there are a lot of white supremacists and blackface amongst us. Y'all have a good day now.
Conversations black people aren't ready to have.
I love Aaliyah with all my heart, but she would not have been as big as Beyonce if she was alive today.
Conversations black people aren't ready to have.
No one respects black culture because y'all are too accepting and too willing to invite anybody into black culture for doing the most minute thing ever.
Conversations black people aren't ready to have.
Black Americans and African/Caribbean Americans are two different types of black. It's not always racism. Yep, I said it. Just because you have an eldest child doesn't mean you have a 24/7 babysitter. Not everything Americans do should be a trend. They're kind of, most times when a black person is being fought out of power, it's by another black person.
Conversations black people aren't ready.
Black people can also be racist. Black people don't own dreadlocks. Dreadlocks was in Africa the same way they are in India, so yes, dreadlocks was in Asia. Not to mention Native Americans who also practice wearing dreadlocks. Ghetto isn't a culture, and discipline is very much different from abuse. Your daughter isn't a maid, while your son is a king. You don't need to be in competition with your daughter. It's okay for your sons and daughters to make mistakes, because even we adults still make mistakes. And at the end of the day, not because you're older means you're always right, and not because you're my granny mean me have to respect you if you don't show me no respect.
Conversations black people aren't ready to have.
Black queer people have the most revolutionary potential in the black community because we always have. You love Angela Davis, but you don't want to talk about the fact that she's lesbian. You love Assata Shakur, but you don't want to talk about the fact that Kuwaze Balagoon, a member of her Black Liberation Army, was the reason that she got safely to Cuba. Need I say more? I'm going to share with y'all a quote by Assata Shakur that I learned from a black queer man that I organized with in New York City. It is our duty to fight for our freedom. It is our duty to win. We must love and support each other. We have nothing to lose but our chains. Black liberation means liberation for us all. And those of us that are the most marginalized have the most revolutionary potential because we realize that.
Conversations black people aren't ready to.
A lot of y'all are Republicans. Very pro-capitalist and very anti-LGBTQIA+. Especially when we black heteronormative people extract so much from black queer culture, then we turn around and dehumanize them. You are not better at performing femininity because you are a Jhené Aiko as opposed to a Sexy Red. I mean, we're talking about the same woman that had us screaming we were getting our booty ate like groceries. The same woman that claims to be a Crip. The same woman that has a song called Pussy Fit. You're not. Just because you come into a little bit of money does not mean that you should open up a restaurant. Stop calling these little girls fast. Sexualizing a child says way more about you than it does about them. A lot of hate for black Americans simply comes from us being descendants of American chattel slavery. There's nothing better about you because your ancestors decided to jump off the boats on the way over here. You do not get a gold star for putting a roof over somebody's head or food on the table. You're avoiding CPS and jail. That is the bare minimum requirement. No gold stars here. Praying away mental health issues is not always going to cut it. Please get that baby in some therapy. And this is my last one. If you have heard yourself say the statement, this is why our community can never come together, this is why black people can't come together, you don't have the range for that conversation. There were systems and powers put in place for centuries to execute this plan. Words and language devised around this plan. The word white, what we associate it with. Pure, clean. The word black, what do we associate with? Dark, evil. Language, down to language. This was executed, okay? Taking people from their home and dispersing them all over the world so they cannot come together and unite. Power, systems, manifest destiny. Ingraining and indoctrinating generation after generation after generation that they are bad and you are good. One party in power and you are at the bottom of the totem pole. It is not black people's fault that we cannot come together This was a devised plan.
Conversations black people aren't ready to have. Number one. I promise I'm gonna get these in the playlist for y'all. But here we go. Black mothers hate their daughters a lot. I know these are hot takes, but I'm gonna give y'all some examples. A lot of y'all hate your daughters because their fathers actually give a fuck about them and want to be in their lives, and your daddy didn't, so you're jealous. Your daughter could be a prettier version of you, and you resent her because having her is what you blame for why you're not as attractive as you used to be, so you're jealous. A lot of dark-skinned mothers are jealous of their light-skinned daughters. A lot of light-skinned mothers are resentful that they made a dark-skinned baby. A lot of black mothers treat their sons drastically different from their daughters. And that's mostly because all interactions between black women and black men, regardless of the relationship, puts the black woman in a position of submission to that black man, even if it's her own child. But pretty much all interactions with black women and every other demographic is transactional. They only want to interact with us to get something out of us. So, when a black woman has a daughter, best believe that that little girl has to earn her keep in that household with that black woman. Her life can't be no crystal stair. And one of y'all better get that reference. You better get it. That all being said, though, no woman gets less grace than a black mother. Y'all saw what they let that white boy do to that black mother in that car with her 2 children in Philadelphia. And even with a weapon pointed directly in her face, that woman still stood her ground to that white boy, with no support from anyone else around her. Because black mothers are the only mothers that are not seen as ones that deserve support, sympathy, and respect. No, not every black mother deserves forgiveness, but all mothers deserve some understanding. Lots of us have way worse childhoods than anything you could even imagine. And that does not excuse the behavior that you have suffered in your life, but it does give context to why it happened. And as a black mother, if y'all would just apologize to your children for the mistakes that you made and own them humbly, you could get a better relationship going with your kids. Your children are not responsible for the problems that you went through. They are the victims of them, though. And even in that, most of them still love you. You just have to love them enough to give them the apologies that they deserve. The real conversation that the black community isn't ready to have is that the parents and the elders are not prepared to apologize to these kids that they have harmed in this community. We dismiss our harm by saying that we did the best we could, when the truth is your best wasn't good enough. Conversations black people aren't ready to have.
You can't be out here screaming Black Lives Matter if you're homophobic and or transphobic. I'm gonna say it again. You cannot be out here screaming Black Lives Matter if you are homophobic and or transphobic. Cause babe, that's not how that shit works. You don't get to pick and choose which black lives to give a fuck about. But I know y'all not ready for that conversation.
Conversations black people aren't ready to have.
Number one, your kids should be able to express themselves and say how they feel without it turning into an argument or y'all going days or months without talking to each other. 2, your child should not be paying rent under your household. I don't care if they turn 18 and got a job, they should not be paying rent. That creates generational poverty. You should take that money, if you're going to take money from your child, and put it in a savings account and save it for their car, their college, or their down payment on a house. And 3, temptations is better than the 5 heartbeats. You can fight me in the comments. I don't care. Bye.
What do you guys think about what these people said? I think they all made a very strong and controversial point, and I would like to know what part did it for you and what part made you stop and say, I do not agree with this particular one. What do you think? I know the Candice Owens one is going to literally spark a conversation, because from the creator who posted that video, I checked the comment section and I was seeing comments like, Candice, are you sure? Are you so sure? But then again, it's an opinion. You don't have to agree. But which of these points did it for you and which one literally made you stop? I would like to know in the comment section. And you can as well add yours. What are the conversations you think black people are not ready to have today? You see the man who mentioned that everything does not have to be entertainment and how we are not ready to even take anything serious if it's not about entertainment. I want to say I 101% agree to what that man said, because it seems like the only way that we are able to get in some information, which is not supposed to be like that, it does not have to all be like that. But I would still like to hear your thoughts about what they all said in the comment section. Another one that did it for me was the one that said, dark-skinned mothers are jealous of their light-skinned daughters. Like, it's literally a dark world out there. Thank you all so much for joining, and if you have not subscribed, please, what are you waiting for? Smash the subscribe button and turn your bell notification on, and I'll talk to you guys in the next one. Bye, and I love you guys.